Hello and welcome to this India Today special. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. If you watched Rana Naidu season 1, you know it's as big as it gets. It's dark, but it's also got a tinge of humor with all of the violence. Season 2 is coming up, promising to be bigger, bolder and whatnot. And I've got with me here in the India Today studios all the stars who are part of Rana Naidu and also the man who made this possible. So let me quickly introduce them. We've got Rana Naidu, should I say?
Yeah, sure, you can. Hello.
Rana joining us here in the studios. We've got Abhishek Banerjee, Kriti Kharbanda, and also finally Karan Anshuman, the man behind Rana Naidu. So thank you all so much for joining us. Rana, first of all, namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Thank you for coming all the way to Delhi.
Most happy.
I can't understand how Rana Naidu perhaps can be bigger and better than what it was in season 1. Explain that to me.
Well, first we were extremely happy with all the love that season 1 got. It's become such a popular show, one of the most watched long-form shows in India. And see, the heart of it was this crazy dysfunctional family. And I think season 2 kind of ups that dysfunctionality. It becomes more personal. There is obviously a huge, there's another family here. There is the Oberois. Kriti and her family are in this show, and there's also an extremeness of violence. There's Arjun Rampal. He's not here with us, but
I wish he was.
You wish he was, yeah. Clearly,
I totally wish he was.
All the girls are like wishing that.
Yeah.
Like, they're not happy to see us.
I think all the women in the studio are like, where is he?
Men asking us.
Nobody is happy to see us.
Yeah, I
We
swear.
get it.
So yes, so there is Arjun Rampal, and you can get to watch us go head on head with each other.
Bigger for sure then, because we've got Arjun Rampal as well. Abhishek, when you read the script, did you feel that, this is a seamless, bigger, grander moment from season 1?
No, actually, I didn't read the script. I think Karan's reaction.
I was waiting for that.
Actually, I didn't read the script, but
Just signed.
Yeah, because it's like really long and and nine episodes and and I just trust Karan. I know that he's a wonderful writer and he will make you do what you are good at, and that's it. Like I just
You
trust
don't worry,
him.
too small a character, too big a character, nothing of this.
No, not at all. I think I'm just very happy to be in Naidu family, and there's some very interesting stuff which is going on with my character in this season. So then people will see. I think many first for me.
You're allowed to give a few spoilers.
I'm a lover boy this time.
Oh.
I'm a lover boy this time.
So Kriti, what about you? As Rana told us, you're part of another family that gets introduced into the Rana Naidu Club or the family itself. What's the experience been like for you to be a part of this dark world?
It's been absolutely amazing. No one really offers me stuff like this. I'm usually looked at the girl next door and, timid, sweet, pretty, all of that. And I'm not
And
complaining. I
contrast
love
that to
that.
this.
I love that. But I'm being all of that and much more in this, is what I feel. It's one of those characters that, the first time I heard it from Karan, there were no questions asked. I literally said hi, I literally said yes in like 5 minutes. It didn't take longer than that. And I've been waiting to work with Karan for a very, very long time. He's one of the greatest creators of our country. Made some of the best shows. Rana is someone I've known for 15 years. And
You worked together previously. Too.
Yes, which he had forgotten, and I reminded him yesterday.
Ouch.
But that's okay, It's just national television. Just a lot of people will know about this, but great. And Abhishek is someone, again, fantastic actor. And today is actually the first time we've really chilled.
Yeah.
And I see this continuing into a longer relationship.
for sure.
Super fun. So I've made a lot of new friends. I've met a lot of talented people on this set. And as far as Alia Oberoi is concerned, I think just watch out for her. You don't know what she's going to do next.
Wow. Let's take it then to the brains behind Rana Naidu. And Karan, when an audience, takes in something like Rana Naidu and then they set expectations right up there, how do you ensure you match up to those expectations? Because like I said, bigger, bolder than season 1, I really don't know how that's possible.
Well, that's easy to find out in a week's time. But, I mean, the expectations are more, I think, on us as, the writers, for example. Like, we've seen what season 1 could do, but now that we know the characters, now we know who these people are, we can really start pushing them in, to the extreme in our own ways. And you take a certain situation and you figure out what Rana would do, what his family would do, and push to the corner, and you just try to create those moments and keep pushing it.
But also, having said that, everyone also goes in expecting a lot of twists and turns. It's very hard for a writer to ensure those surprises all through.
No, there's a lot of twists and turns this time. I think it's a lot more than the first season. This time we have it's much more power packed. It's much more relentless because we know all these people from the word go. We hit the ground running. You just completely get into the story right away from the first scene on, and it doesn't it's pretty breathless all the way till the end.
And I think season 2 also has this massive star cast coming together.
Yeah, I love that idea that, we could actually build that world and make it even bigger than it was. There's a whole new family coming in with Rajat Kapoor and Tanuj Rani, and of course Kriti, who's sort of helming that end of things. There's the Naidu family, Venkateshwar, and he's like a force of nature on his own, right? And he's sort of meddling in all these storylines. And then there is Arjun, and what he's bringing as Raw from the other extremity of this world. So you have these guys on one end, you have Arjun on the other, and Rana sort of trapped in between and fighting all this all at the same time.
What's that experience been like? I'm curious, Rana. I mean, you had a massive star cast in season 1, and then it's become bigger with so many more faces cutting across film industries, I think, coming together for this.
Well, I think that, just to add to what Karan said, the fact that we could build a big world, first with a big family of brothers and a dad and son who are crazy at each other. And the fact that in season 2 we got to scale that with such an amazing cast. And like you said, it's been a multilingual cast right from the beginning. It was me and my uncle Venkatesh doing a Hindi show, and that's where it started.
Do you both kind of speak in Telugu on set that nobody else understands?
No, we don't speak that much on set actually. We'll speak after set. It's just safer that way. No, but the thing is, he let the characters break out into Telugu enough number of times.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
So when the character just loses his mind, he just suddenly rants things in Telugu, and that's been part of the characters also.
You've stuck to the Naidu surname. I think you've ensured that authenticity is there.
Fully.
That where you need to speak in Telugu, especially in the very tough emotional bits, you do that.
Fully.
So for Abhishek, with the kind of star cast that we're talking about in season 2, who do you think is that one actor that you were really looking forward to working with and that you believe you learned a lot from on set?
Oh, Venki sir, for sure. I mean, I think I'm how do you put it? I've always been a fan. And then when I met him on set, I think I just fell in love with the human he is.
But I'm curious about
and he's
that.
also, I feel he has the youngest energy on set.
Really?
Let me just tell you that. Yeah. He's always excited, always having fun.
Wow.
I think today only I got to know how old is he, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, no way. It isn't. His being is not that. So yeah.
But I'm curious to know.
And he gives me a lot of pro tips and how to handle the fame and success and everything. So it's very, very interesting to know from that.
So a lot of chats on set about so many issues.
Oh yes.
But I'm curious to know, for someone who's in a different film industry, do they really understand the legacy of so many of these actors?
Yes, because I have lived in Chennai.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm very much aware of southern film
Telugu
industries,
films and Tamil films.
all the southern film industries, and Bengali industry. I know a lot about Marathi industry. I'm a cinephile anyway, so I love watching
language
movies.
doesn't matter.
Not at all. It should never matter.
Yeah.
It should never matter for actors, especially. I don't know why Indian actors don't do that. We need to learn languages and perform in that language. जो कि बहुत West में it's very common.
Yeah.
And here we are always stuck to our language because it's comfort zone. That's the whole thing. Like when they say that you have to break your comfort zone, it not only means the kind of characters you're doing, also the kind of languages you're speaking.
But is that a restraint that you don't know the language also?
You can learn the language. It's very easy to learn the language. You just need to put your mind there, understand how the tongue is rolling, technical stuff, but then you will. Yeah.
There's a very interesting debate on that I'll get back to. And I don't know if all of you will be willing to jump into it, but this is a news channel, so we'll get into that.
For sure.
You know where it's going, right? I'll come
That's
to that.
not easy to roll the tongue. That's what.
But Kriti, for you also, who's the one actor that you kind of learned from, that you felt like you were a sponge on set for?
See, unfortunately, like Abhishek, I wish I had the opportunity to work with Venki sir, but our track is so independent. I actually didn't work with Abhi also. I haven't worked with anyone except Rana. Rana
Yes,
and
that's
of
the
course
only
the
one.
newer Rana and I, let's not get into that debate. I know it's a news channel, but everything's forgiven. This is between Rana and I. But what I did have the fortune of was to work with Rajat Kapoor sir. We play father-daughter. He is amazing. His energy is amazing. There is so much to his performance which is not driven by dialogues. There's a lot he brings to the table even when he's not speaking in a scene. And for me, that was one of the best moments of my life. Like, I think it was the second to last day when he finally gave me a compliment. And for me, it meant so much that it was coming from the Rajat Kapoor, a man I've looked up to all my life. And it was one of the best experiences, genuinely. But the entire cast that way, everyone who was associated, did such a good job. And I know why that was possible. Karan, Abhay, and Suparn, the three of them, we had 3 directors on this show. And all 3 of them have a very different energy to them. But one thing that's common is teamwork. You know, when you work together as a team, suddenly there's no discrepancy, there's no insecurity. Because they're being exactly the same with every actor. They all want what's best for the project. And I'm not just saying this for effect. They genuinely, all 3 of them have very different energies, but you can tell that the 3 of them have come together very passionately to build what they're building. And I just genuinely learned a lot from a lot of people. Like with Rana, you learn that he has so much restraint in his performance, but he speaks volume with his eyes. And I think that's what an actor needs to do, right? And acting is nothing but reacting.
And voice.
Voice तो मतलब बात ही नहीं करनी मुझे उसके बारे में. दूर से आवाज लगाए तो हो गया.
I remember when you came for season 1 and we asked you to kind of remember one of your Bahubali dialogues. This was in the first floor of our Mediaplex and the entire office went silent when I said it. When you said it, yes, because of your voice. Karan, just to take off from what Kriti has said, there are so many stars, there are so many makers. It's, you know, a packed house that we're talking about. So how do you kind of seamlessly ensure there's that synergy to ensure everyone comes together? It's different personalities, different characters all coming together and yet putting across this product with one mission of ensuring a great job done.
Yeah, I gotta say it's super tricky and it's not easy to, you know, try to manage that. So I don't even bother, to be honest. First of all, it's a real privilege for me and, you know, to be here, to be in a situation where I have such great talent to work with, right? And, you know, for them to actually assemble on set and to be amidst them and to be able to sort of just nudge and guide a little bit because we all know what we're doing here and they're super professional about it all the time. It really wasn't much work, to be honest. And because I think everyone just bought into the idea of what we were doing here to begin with, what the script was, where we wanted to go, how much you know, Netflix wants us to be, you know, the big phenomenon that Rana was in the first season and how what are the expectations in the second one. So we just went in with that and keeping it very simple, like here's the scene, this is the point of what the scene needs to be. Even if there's 6 people in it, there's just one point to the scene, right? And we try to work towards that. And everyone, once you get that, there's a lot of clarity when it comes to execution.
Yeah, I'm curious to know, of all the characters who are part of season 2 of Rana Naidu, who's the one character that you believe had the most interesting growth or trajectory in season 2? Without any spoilers, I think.
No, I just, I think the freshness that Arjun's character brought, Arjun Rampal's Rauf character brought, was something unexpected. I mean, that was an outlier, like he's the Joker in the pack almost, so to speak. And I think that's something that the audiences should really look forward to, and I'm sure they'll enjoy that.
So there's double chemistry to watch out for, essentially, between you and your uncle from season 1. I'm sure that's being carried forward. And then there's you and Arjun Rampal as well, Rana. So which one really stood out for you? What makes it so fresh, essentially?
Well, see, one is with the fact that me and my uncle got to do a role like this. We played father and son for the first time. And it was so whack and so different from what anything could have ever been written. I think.
Did you learn new things about your uncle through the course of this?
I think he learned new things about me. So but no, so I think that was always very unique. And the fact that, like Arjun coming in, you always knew, okay, it's a story of an antagonist, there's this, but the layers and depth that he brought in as the character was written and we started playing it out, I think that was pretty fascinating for me in this show.
So is that going to be the focus point, really, the chemistry between you and an Arjun Rampal as well?
I mean, you can't
You know, in
pin
a way,
out
if I
one
look at
layer
it,
in this. It's a big family with a lot of problems. So I think the crux of it can't be just one single thing. It's like Karan said earlier, like everyone meddles in each one's story in some manner.
Yeah.
And yeah, it ends in the end with the two of us.
But I also want to know from someone like you, Kriti, since you've joined in season 2, when you saw season 1, what was your biggest takeaway from the series? What really stood out for you?
The writing. I love that the focus was not just on one character. You know, a lot of people make that mistake that they focus on just one character and then they forget the rest, or they don't really dive deep into those characters. I remember so many things about the show. I remember so many details about season 1, whether it is Jaffa, whether it is Tej, whether it is Rana, whether it is Naga, whether it is Naina, whether it's the kids.
Wow.
All of it, honestly, because they all had so much layering. I went from being a fan to a cast. It's a very big deal. I binge watched Rana Naidu season 1. I hope that people do that with season 2 for more than one reasons. But what fascinated me the most is that as a creator, Karan didn't compromise on anything else. He understands that a big part of storytelling is to bring everything together. Because if something is going to stand out or stick out, something is not right.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that it's one for all and all for one.
It has to be
much.
seamless in a way.
Yeah, because a family dynamic cannot be, you know, emotions, family, all of this cannot be about one person. It's about people coming together, right? And all of them are going to have very different personalities. He's not tried कि हाँ ये तीन भाई हैं तो तीनों को एक जैसा बना दो.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Each has a different arc.
They have their own distinct fundamental personalities. They've all grown up to be different people. They've all had similar experiences also, but they've all dealt with it so differently. So I think just the writing, I think that just won, the creation won. And I think it makes an actor's job so much easier. Like Karan pays a lot of attention to detail. Vaibhav Vishal has written some of the best lines that I've ever spoken on camera. John has done a splendid job with cinematography, so it's a visual extravagance.
Okay, I can't wait for it to come out and watch it.
Yeah,
I will
me
need
too.
a recap of
Even I
season
feel
1.
like watching.
Yeah, you're good. I'm really excited about this.
We're going
I was
to,
like, wow, this is it. This is it. I'm
we're
like,
going to use that in our
Promote
promo.
other stuff also.
yeah, we have a bunch more.
I think we'll use Kriti's bit as a promo. It'll
Yeah,
immediately
fully
attract
so,
everyone
yeah.
to watch it. But Abhishek, for someone like you in Rana Naidu and so many other films that you've worked in, series that you've worked in, you always stood out for the character that you've played. You know, it's not necessarily the titular role, but you're one of those characters that has so many layers and then you seamlessly put it across where you shine in a film or series. So do you consciously do that? That, you know, there are many actors who say, I need to be, you know, in the spotlight. I need to be right there as the hero. You don't consciously think like that.
I mean, during my theatre days, I think one thing which was taught to us by our teacher is that when you are on stage, you have to entertain. Like, you know, there's no other option. Like, you have to light the stage on fire. And that's exactly what I do in camera. If you give me a one scene role, you give me 30-second whatever footage in a film or wherever you put me, I will do my best. I'll do my 200%. I never think that the protagonist, not protagonist, I'm, you know, shifting that these days, and I'm realizing that I just have fun playing the character, acting. I don't think beyond that.
Nothing too big, too small. No such thing.
No, I mean, it should not be also. Yeah.
So that's what drives you essentially.
Yeah, for me, acting drives me, and then everything. I've started with a very, like, you know, minor part in Karan's show, Mirzapur, and I was a croonie there. You know, but that character became really widely popular.
Which is my point.
Yeah.
That, you know, you stand out and so then get recognized.
Yeah, but I never planned that. I never told myself that I'm going to do something where I'm going to stand out. I just acted. So I realized that that's what, you just need honesty. And I tell all the actors as a casting director that don't think that any character is small or big. Just go and do your best. Filmmakers will notice. Audience will take notice. So if you are actually honest towards your craft, everybody will give you whatever you want. But the problem is when you start thinking about other stuff and not acting. You know, so that also shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rana, what about you? Is that how you choose your films and series and every project that you're a part of? Does it matter to you which film industry? Is it Tollywood, Bollywood, any of that?
No, it never mattered to me which industry I was in, because I think when I was younger, I was watching films of across languages and I enjoyed them the same. So as my career started with a Telugu film, then landed up in a Hindi film, and
Yeah.
life kept going on. For me, it's creating a unique experience, right? Whether it's a film, a show, doesn't matter what it is, but it should feel like this is the first time you're seeing something in this manner. And to me, that is an experience that I'd like to recreate. Whether it's characters, I don't like to play the same guy too many times. So
Has to keep changing.
has to keep changing. And what I like especially about Rana Naidu is the depth in which all of this is written. In a film, you don't get to explore so much of depth with characters and others. It's truly a classical family drama in that sense.
Yeah.
That's packed with crime, action, all of the others. And just to add to what Abhishek said sometime, he is actually one of the finest acting teachers that I've met.
Wow.
And I think having a cast member like this
So,
on...
what do you say? You were taking notes?
Oh, no, I'm saying whether it's exercises, whether it's readings with him, there's always so much joy. He lets you discover things. So I think having him on set was really good for the entire cast.
Nothing like that. Nothing. I have to.
No, Kriti, I'm sure, also said that she
No,
enjoys
they're
your
all
work.
fans, huh? I mean, when I met him in the morning, I said, you have your own, very own fan, like a little fan club on set where everyone's like, oh my God, he's amazing.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. So there you go. Everyone's learning from you as well. I think each of you kind of took away from each other's energy and experience to learn so
fully,
much.
fully.
Just one issue of Rana Naidu, Karan, I'd like to come to you on this. I think when season 1 released,
Do you need a question? You know.
I know the question.
Yeah.
let's see, what is it about?
I wouldn't know.
No, so when
couldn't
season
get
1
it.
came out, there was a lot of talk about the language, the crime in Rana Naidu, and that it's too graphic. So then the whole talk of censorship began. What do you think of that? Do you think that, on OTT there should be certain regulations, or that freedom should be there for makers and people can take their...
Well, as a maker, of course, I want all the freedom in the world. And I absolutely am a fan of freedom. Having said that, obviously children should not be watching certain things. And we need to figure a way to regulate. Not regulate, I would say, just ensure that that doesn't happen. There's a rating
Disclaimers?
system. Of course, there are disclaimers and there's rating systems. But, I think it's also up to the adults to be a little bit more responsible when it comes to their kids. Like, it's why should parents just give them a free hand, right? Like there are parental controls and things. So, and I think adults should be adults. And if you should be smart enough to make a choice for yourself. If you are feeling that if it's making you squeamish, any of the stuff you're watching, just watch a nice nature documentary, switch over to some songs, and I don't know, whatever it is that you want to do, and,
Yeah, it's the same
and
thing.
take
Like
a
if
call.
you don't like a news channel, just change the news channel and get a
Ouch.
better news. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, but my question is, yes, sure, audience has a choice. They can pick and choose content, but is there also an onus on the makers then? Not really.
No, right? No.
They should have freedom, 100%.
Yes, and it's not like we just want to glorify violence. It's never about that or any kind of toxicity. It's always trying to make any responsible filmmaker will show that in a way that is anti that, right? Like you don't want to glorify any of this. Like say the men in Rana Naidu in the first season were super toxic and they were not good people. But we said that as much. Like it's not okay what is happening here. There's an accountability for the characters that need to come in. So to take things out of context and just seeing it as individual clips or reels is obviously not in the best interest of anyone. Like there's a complete picture that needs to be understood, and if someone were to stick it through, and they'll understand that what we are saying is all the right things, and this is one way to say it.
Kriti, do you think so? That it's about the messaging at the end of the day, you know? There's all of this worry and debate over whether people emulate what they see in these series, these characters like what you see in Rana Naidu. But as Karan says, is it at the end of the day about the message that goes across from the series about these characters?
I don't think the series was ever promoted in a way where we explicitly said that, oh, this is supposed to be you're supposed to be like Rana Naidu.
And these are heroes at no point.
No one went out there and said, be like him. But are you telling me that people like him don't exist? That's a simple question.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that there are people who don't do bad things or don't stab people or do horrible things? I mean,
hit people with bats.
we read like the most obnoxious stuff about real life incidents. वो भी मत दिखाओ ना फिर.
Yeah.
क्योंकि that's also setting an example, and it's even more scary because it's not acting.
No, I agree. Yeah.
We're only acting. We're only playing out characters that are probably inspired by some of our own experiences, maybe something that we made up in our head. It's just creation. It's just creativity. We're just telling a story. Either you have to decide as an audience, do you want to be inspired by it? Do you want to be that person? Do you want to take inspiration and say, I never want to be like that? There's so many ways to look at it. We are purely making this for entertainment. हम कोई तरीके का message नहीं देना चाह रहे हैं. But this is just pure entertainment.
But the question then, Abhishek, is the Indian audience mature enough to kind of understand that, to differentiate between what not to emulate and what to emulate?
They're mature enough to understand genres, right? Comedy, dance, action. You know, they
Because very
understand
often
that.
there's this discourse that, oh, someone saw a movie and then recreated the killing, murder, etc.
So usually it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Cinema or art is like a mirror to society.
Yeah.
We take things that are in society and it's a showcase. Not saying this is what you have to do, but this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So I think if you're not able to accept what you're seeing, which means you're not able to accept the society you're living in. So I think and a society is diverse. It's extremely diverse. What 5 of us think in a room is very different from what 5 people 10 kilometers away will think, right?
Yeah.
So understanding social culture, all of that is a different exercise. Storytelling is another exercise.
Do you think actors, though, have become easy punching bags in a sense that people are very sensitive, boycott calls, bans? It's happening with Kamal Hassan right now, where there's a call right now to boycott him, ban him in Karnataka.
See, I'll tell you something. Not about a certain set incident, but always when any incident has to be highlighted, you need a trigger point. And if the trigger point is trying to be pressed by somebody who nobody cares about, nobody gives anything about the issue. But you take somebody famous and say, here you go, point this guy out. Then there is some relevance to the guy who's making the point.
You know how sensitive an issue like language is in this hour.
See, language is...
In Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu.
See, language in this country is becoming a very sensitive issue. No? Yeah. See, because everybody... See, language, God, all of these are used in a... It's great if it's used in a cultural and a knowledgeable context. The minute it's used in a political context and for gain of wealth and power, I think it's stupidity. That should be banned in an extremely heavy way. All linguists should go punch the guys who are using language as a political tool and not as an educative tool.
Do you think that's happening right now?
I think, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Tell me how many people really want you to learn Telugu poetry or learn Kannada poetry. And how many people are just saying, hey, you said this, go get out. So I think life is to be mature. It's about growing up. And if you don't, you don't.
Interesting take. Abhishek, what do you think about this entire ban this film, boycott this actor, and all of the sensitivities involved in what an actor says or doesn't say sometimes?
Yeah, I think only then you'll be heard, right? When you talk about actors, that's what Rana said. That you have to take some
that you're creating a controversy.
I mean, if it's not a boycott Kamal Hassan, then India Today is not going to speak about it. So as simple as that. So you need a name like Kamal Hassan for you to take that name and then create that news. So I think and now it's getting boring, to be very honest. Itne boycott chal rahe, now I'm bored.
You can't keep track of how many boycotts.
I didn't even know what boycott is this. So there has to be some, if they're doing it, they need to be more creative about it.
Okay, interesting. I know I've completely veered off topic, so I'll bring it back to Rana Naidu season 2. And as we've run out of time, Karan, last comments from all of you on why people should go out and watch season 2. What does it bring onto the table from season 1?
From season 1, I think if you like something, we've made it better. And if you didn't like something, we've fixed it.
There you go.
Nice. I don't think any of us need to speak after
Ditto
this.
as Karan.
Ditto as Karan.
Kriti,
Copy,
you have
copy,
your
copy
promo
that.
style material for us right
oh,
now.
I'm promo
so you
material
continue
for you.
on your role
Yeah.
of why people should watch Rana Naidu season.
Oh,
There's
that's a
someone
lot
who
of
saw
pressure.
season 1. Not
That's a
being
lot of
part the
pressure.
team.
So I'm speaking as a fan. I think everything that I saw in season 1 was fantastic. And as someone who's read the script of season 2, yes, I read the whole thing. I think the kind of twists and turns that we are going to see in season 2 is going to be fabulous. We have a fantastic cast. A cast that's really come together to build magic. And it's going to be super entertaining. I think that is the one thing that can be guaranteed. It's a fast-paced, super entertaining show. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I think this is something that deserves a season 3. So
Okay.
I'm sure it's going to happen.
Karan, that's on you, of course, to
Yeah,
ensure
yeah.
season 3. Rana, what about you? What can we expect from Rana Naidu in season 2?
Slightly more vulnerable, slightly more violent, slightly more bold, slightly more loving,
Wow.
and all of that put together.
So put everything together.
Yeah. See, like I said, it's a family drama. It's a family of people who've gone through serious trauma in their lives, and that's the recreation.
Okay. And Abhishek, finally to you, what's the one standout thing about season 2 that you think people will
I
love?
think it's the only pan-India show we have right now. So
Yeah?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why people should watch it pan-India.
I actually cannot think of one besides
Yeah.
Rana
Yeah,
Naidu.
that's
So you're right.
true. Wow, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great note to end this on. All the very best to all
Thank
of
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
making
Thank
season
you.
2.
Thank
Here's
you.
hoping for a season 3. Thank you very much for joining
Thank
us
you.
here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.